They say the world keeps its secrets until someone refuses to keep them. Word moves like wind through valleys and along dusty roads. A giant walks with the people, a giant who fights giants, a giant who does not eat them. Travelers repeat the story at taverns and market stalls. Shepherds tell it to their flocks. Mothers hush their children with the name as if it were a blessing. In the hills, the giants hear and laugh. In the lowlands, the rumor becomes a hope. The town that once feared the dark begins to gather light. Strangers arrive with tired feet and new plans. Tents become timber. A ruined house becomes a home. Where fear once ruled, a fragile order takes root. Hunters organize. Elders speak in low councils. Children find space to run. And at the edge of it all, standing like a question against the horizon, Tirak watches. They build him a house because they do not know how else to say thank you. A simple shelter, scaled for his shoulders. A low roof he must bow beneath. A hearth wide enough to hold a winter. When they present it, the town gathers in a hush. A child slips a small hand into his and says, "Now you don't have to sleep outside anymore." The giant's face, so often a mask of stone, cracks. A single tear falls. The first he has ever shed for joy. Night comes, and the house feels strange. The walls press in like a memory he cannot own. He steps inside, and the ceiling seems too low. The room's too small for a life he has never known. Old habits are stubborn. He patrols the perimeter until dawn, listening for the sound of giants on the wind. He sleeps under the stars more nights than not, convinced that a home is a luxury he has not earned. Then the gifts begin. Apples wrapped in cloth, a loaf of bread, a crude wooden toy, a drawing of a smiling giant. Each offering is left like a small prayer. He kneels to touch them, whispers "thank you" into the dark, and something in him loosens. One night he finds a tiny wooden carving of himself, a smiling, clumsy figure. For the first time he crosses the threshold and lies down beneath a roof. He sleeps as a member of a family, not as a sentinel. The children teach him to play. At first they hide from him, squealing behind barrels. He could find them in a breath. His nose knows the town like a map, but he pretends not to. He steps past a child crouched in a bush and acts surprised. The children erupt and giggles. He learns the rhythm of the joke, the small cruelty of pretending, and he keeps it. Then they shout, "Now you hide." He freezes. Where does a giant hide? He runs, clumsy and earnest, searching for a place that will hold him. He crouches behind a sapling no thicker than his wrist, his knees and shoulders exposed to the sky. The children count, then open their eyes and find him instantly. Their laughter is a bell that rings through his chest. He realizes, in a single bright moment, that the point was never to be clever. The point was to make them laugh. The game spreads. Adults pause their work to watch. A baker drapes a towel over his forehead. A hunter points dramatically in the wrong direction. The elders sit on porches and smile. The town gathers each evening not out of duty, but for the sound of joy. Tirak becomes the center of a ritual that needs no altar. A daily, ordinary miracle of laughter. He learns to hide badly on purpose, behind twigs, under a goat, flat on the ground like a log, and each failure becomes a gift. The town's laughter becomes the town's heartbeat. One evening, Uriel comes back. Tirak runs to him like a child running to a father. He tells the angel about the house, the gifts, the game. Uriel listens with a quiet pride. Later, under a sky thick with stars, Tirak asks the question that has been growing inside him. What am I? Why did you help me? Uriel's answer is not a lesson, but a door. You are ready, he says, and then he walks with Tirak through the night and speaks of things that make the world larger. The God of Adam, the order of creation, the Watchers, the birth of the Nephilim, the curse that followed them, the fate of wandering spirits. He tells Tirak that he is the first of his kind to resist his nature, that heaven noticed him, and that Uriel noticed him. Tirak's mind reels. The sky above seems to tilt. He is no longer only a body of muscle and hunger. He is a creature with a choice, and that knowledge both terrifies and frees him. After the revelation, Tirak climbs a hill alone. He asks the sky the questions. Do you see me? What am I supposed to be? For a long time, there is only the wind, then a warmth, like a hand on his face. A whisper that is not a voice, but a presence. I see you. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. The giant weeps, not from shame now, but from recognition. That night, around the fire, a man asks plainly, "Tirak, why did you help us? How did you learn to fight?" The circle grows quiet. Tirak looks at his hands. The hands that once took life. He speaks. "I was born to eat you," he says, and the words fall like stones. He tells them of the hunger that once ruled him, the guilt that racked him, the shame that made him hide, how he turned away from his people's customs, how he tried to live on plants, and how hard it was, how other giants mocked him, and how he thought he would die. He tells them about the day he heard a child laughing, and how that sound pulled him like a beacon. He watched the children play and felt something inside him mend. Their laughter became his covenant. He would never eat humans again. He tells them of the giant attack, the desperate fight, the beating that left him near death, and of the angel who came. He speaks of Uriel lifting him, teaching him to fight with mercy, teaching him to forage, teaching him discipline and restraint. He speaks of the living God who spoke on the hill and of the whisper that said, "You are not forgotten." By the time he finishes, his eyes are full and trembling. The town cannot hold itself. A woman sobs openly. A man covers his face. Children climb into his arms. One by one, the adults step forward. They do not step back. They embrace him. They hold him like family. The giant who once feared his own hunger is held by the people he vowed to protect. Tears fall in the firelight. Laughter and weeping become the same language. Tirak kneeling, surrounded by the town, embraced by children and elders alike. Giants watch from a distant ridge, silhouettes against the dark, and the world tilts toward what will come next.